Big Drive Energy Ryder Cup coverage. Let's effing go. Let's effing go. The Ryder Cup is here, and I gotta admit, I didn't realize how big of a deal this was. Like, I'm not like talking down the Ryder Cup, but like this is one of those where I think it gets more people than majors, and it gets more like if you're on a team all of a sudden, Live Golf maybe. All of a sudden, if you're on a team and there's like countries against each other or groups of people against each other, it's like a thing. It's like more people than just golf fans or golf fanatics that watch every tournament or watch majors and every tournament are all of a sudden like, oh, I'm into this. I'm into this shit. So I'm pumped. We're going to preview the whole Ryder Cup for you guys. We're going to talk about Mitchell's trip to Bethpage yesterday, what it was all about. And we're going to give you our final predictions. We also have the first day of tee times out. So we're going to react to those and talk about Team USA's chances against a juggernaut European team. All right, let's tee it up. Big Drive Energy. When's the last time we did a pod on a Thursday? I can't remember. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I honestly don't even remember what days we used to do podcasts.
I think Mondays and Wednesdays was
always kind of been Monday, Wednesday. This is kind of a special Thursday edition. I was at the Ryder Cup yesterday. You were fucking off. You
working.
You you really never have time to do a podcast. It's just kind of you make time. So I respect that. I'm not giving you shit, but we just decided to do it on Thursday, and I think it worked out. Hopefully we get this out somewhat early enough for you guys to listen to it tonight, or you can listen to it tomorrow morning. Tee times are very early. First tee time 7:10 Eastern. So if you're in anywhere but the East Coast, you are waking up before the sun rises to watch the Ryder Cup tomorrow morning. But before we get to that, I know you played golf today. Look at you, rocking the rose hat, the rose shirt, the Pins hat. Good looking shirt, by the way. And funny story. So the reason Spencer bought this shirt at the Rose, didn't you forget a golf shirt when you came out?
Yes, I was Sans golf shirt for my round at the Rose.
Since when do you use the term Sans? Like what is that? I
don't know. I fancy it.
You've used it a few times, and I just do not find that in somebody's everyday vernacular. And for somebody's vocabulary as small as yours, Sans is a pretty big reach for you. So I was just curious who said that to you and thought you thought it was like fancy and cool. I mean, I just
like the term. It's a good term.
Like Comic Sans, the font. What does that mean then? It's like non-comedic.
Oh, I never thought about it that way.
Are you
Comic Sans?
Some just flashed. I don't know if that was lightning or what the fuck, or a light went out.
Somebody's buzzing your tower in Atlantic City.
I mean, we are two stories from the top and a nice suite. So this hotel, we're in the Borgata Hotel, pretty badass. It's like an MGM hotel. But I didn't realize all the suites are like kind of in a tower. So you get down to the end of the hallway, and then it's all in like a little cul-de-sac, like circular. And there's 5 suites that are all like in this little circular area. So the room is somewhat circular, but the views are fantastic. I mean, if it wasn't already dark out, I would give people a view, but Atlantic City is pretty trashy for sure. Missy has told me the first couple times, she's like, I just want to reiterate, and she definitely mommies me a little bit. She's like, do not leave the casino. I'm like, okay, I fucking twist my arm. I mean, all these casinos as well, it's like your typical casino, but I feel like almost even more here. They have like 4 or 5 different restaurants. They've got Starbucks in every casino. They've got pretty much anything that you would need. They've even got like shops. You can go buy clothes and shit. There's pretty much everything right inside of the casino. So you really have no need to leave. I'm not really sure what my plan is for Thursday night football, but I am going to go watch some football after. I played 9 holes earlier. I wanted to try a new course out. It's called the McCullough Emerald Links down here in Atlantic City. Kind of an interesting joint.
Is there a lot of golf there, I would assume? Like just golf courses fucking
golf, right?
everywhere.
Yeah, like 30 minutes outside of Atlantic City, which the cool part is, or it's like 20, 25 minutes west because Atlantic City's obviously right on the ocean. But all the golf there, I feel like there's so much public golf that every afternoon, I mean, I've only been down here a couple weekends, but every time or weeks, I don't even know what the fuck day it is. It feels like a Friday, but every time I've been down here, I'll just look up a course and see if they have any afternoon tee times open. And almost all the mid to late afternoon tee times are wide open. So I played 13 holes this afternoon in 2 hours, like 2 hours and 10 minutes. So I was definitely getting around. I mean, there was like a twosome in front of me, and then I kind of lost him. The course was really cool, other than the fact that the greens, I had never seen greens like this, but that is one thing that, I mean, good player, bad player, whatever. But I feel like, especially as a pretty good player, relatively, the greens are one thing that you just want to be in very good shape. And these greens legitimately look like they got hit with a hailstorm, except for they weren't hail marks. Like there was just dead, like legitimately peppered dead spots that were like circular, but it wasn't like, it was almost like they had some sort of fungus growing and it was just killing off parts of the green. That fucking disappointed me. I mean, the round was not expensive by any means. It was $45 at 4:00. So it was pretty reasonable, all things considered. But the greens were just not great. And then surprisingly enough, there was a few blind tee shots, and like all the golf courses, well, the couple that I played, I guess I can't say all of them, but a lot of these golf courses have a fair amount of elevation change relative to what you would think being right on the ocean. Like there's a lot of dunes, there's a lot of ups and downs, and there's a few blind shots. So I did lose a few balls. I just had no fucking idea where. They're like, aim at this tower, and then you hit it like slightly left of the tower and it's fucking cooked. You're like,
did you have a GPS cart?
I did, but it was super, like, the screen was covered in like rain,
just sloppy. It was just sloppy.
It was a little, like, to the point where it was so reflective, and like there were so many raindrop, like old imprints of raindrops, that I couldn't see fuck all on the screen. So I was just flying by night, and it was windy as shit. It was blowing like 35. So I think I shot like 40 on the front 9. And then I played a few holes on the back, and I was like, fuck this, I'm getting out of here. So but yeah, it was fun. I mean, you just got done playing around the golf. Please make a long story short here. Give us your rundown.
I hit the driver like a fucking beast. I hit the driver like Rory McIlroy in his prime. I think I missed like one. If I missed a fairway, it was just because I hit it like too far where there's a little cutout or there's a little like thing of rough. Like I hit one drive that was maybe a 15 to 20 yards right of my target. Everything else was on a fucking line and didn't move a ton. I ran from taking my son to the dentist to going to the golf course, meeting mom at the golf course, dropping Sawyer, undoing his fucking car seat, dropping him in the car, running to the second tee. I missed the first hole. Getting to the second tee and just nuking one. No practice swings, no drinks, no anything. And then I just hit driver like an absolute beast. And a perfect example, I did shoot pretty well on the back. I did shoot well. I was going to say shot 34, but then I was like, that's a big dick move, whatever. I played well on the back 9, and I started to dial it in, like I almost spun a wedge in on 17. But I think the 4th hole is a perfect summation of my day, in that I drove it miles past, like Ace, Jonathan, and Charlie were teeing up like 2 in front of me. And they were either 1 or 2 in front of me. They played the blue gold combos, and I have to play the backs. But I was 40, 50 yards past all three of them, bombed it in the fairway, 73 yards in. I hit that like 53 yards. Then I chip it over the green because this guy is fucking falling off the roof, holding onto a gutter in the house next to it, right in the middle of my backswing. And fucking thinned it over the green and then
How am I
chipped
supposed
on
to chip
short.
with this going on, Doug?
Yeah, and then I chipped on short and I was fucking just picked up for like 6. So like that was kind of how my day went. Now on the back nine, I did start dialing it in, like driver, wedge to a foot, birdie. I missed a 4-footer for birdie on the par 5, but they did just punch and sand the greens on Monday. So we only had a couple of days of not full punch, big holes, but just like the verticut. And so it wasn't like the greens weren't great, but I hit the ball. I hit a lot of really, really good shots. Like, not that I played well, but I hit shots that were even like better than a normal good shot, like some exceptional, for me, exceptional golf shots.
Fucking exceptional
Like
shots.
including the driver. The driver was exceptional all day, but every other club, like it was kind of iffy, but I just hit it really fucking good. I didn't score all that well, but I feel good about where I'm at. I'm playing in the Sandbagger with Corey Thurman and all those boys, the Ryder Cup format next weekend. I believe we're playing Red Hawk and Bear Dance, I want to say, or Red Hawk and Perry Park, or I forget the 2 courses. But yeah, I'm excited for that. And Corey's like, I'm on Corey's team, and I got drafted like not last. I got drafted last at his bachelor party, which made me fucking super ass hurt because I don't think not a lot of dudes know who I am, and I'm not that great of a player. Don't get me wrong.
You don't know who I am,
but being like they're drafting like fucking 12s in front of me, and there is a little bit of handicap that goes into it, but at the same time, like, come on. I'm a pretty good player here. And then I fired fucking 67 at Sand Hollow on Sunday. And so when we did our live draft for the Sandbagger, I kept getting skipped over. I finally got picked, and I was like, I guess everybody forgot about my fucking 67 at Sand Hollow and at your bachelor party. Thanks for picking me fucking 7th round, Corey. Appreciate it. I hope I just go out and shoot fucking 65 and just embarrass the field.
You're going to be a Cinderella. You're going to be a diaper. No, not a diaper dandy. What am I looking for? What does Dick Vitale call him?
Diaper dandy.
Oh, a diaper dandy.
Yeah.
I will say this though, and maybe you've turned a corner recently in this last year, because I've given you a lot more props about your golf game. But previous years, I would have to say, and maybe it's just the amount of golf that I've played with you, but I've never met a dude that hits it to 3 feet and I feel better about him missing it than you. It feels borderline automatic to me. And then I start saying the second one's good. Like I start fucking with you and I get in your head and you are just fucking 2-ply soft. Your mind just turns into a pretzel, and it cracks me up because I can talk you out of missing a 3-footer. Like, I'm hypnotizing somebody. I'm like, you're going to miss this. And you'll be like, yep, just fucking. And dude. I will say that you do. I'm even a victim of it as well. Like a 3-footer for par feels like nothing, but a 3-footer for birdie, you do put that little bit of extra pressure on yourself. So I feel like they are a little easier to miss, but at the same time, I've put you in a mental pretzel so many times that I could guarantee you whether you hit it to 20 feet or 4 or 5 feet, you're making par.
Right. And there was a hole today where it was 11, the par 5, I had like a 4-footer for birdie to win the hole and I missed it. And then I ended up birdieing 3 of 4 and parring another par. I was 3 under in a 4-hole stretch, which won us the match. We went from 1 down to 3 up and ended it. But the 11th hole, I missed like a 4-footer for birdie. That was kind of breaking, not terrible, but I just missed the hole. Not good. And then like 3 holes later, I had about the exact same putt, and Jonathan goes, "Oh, I know he's gonna make that." And I was like, "I know what the fuck you're doing here, dude. Like, don't fucking reverse psychology my ass. Like, I've already been thinking about this since I fucking knocked one stiff. I don't think I'm gonna make it. I made it, but it was like I was just like, God damn it, don't patronize me like this. I don't like this."
I got to tell you a quick story because Jonathan is our Scottish friend. For those, I don't think we've mentioned him on this podcast, but
dude, you should have seen their cart today. It's John and AC because he has his own cart at Heritage Eagle Bend. So he has
okay.
this big red cart with a 4-seater, but you can also put clubs on it. He wants to take the seats off.
Oh my God.
But he has the European flag hanging from behind him. He's got 2 Glen Eagles, Scotland, Ryder Cup European flags or golf towels hanging from the sides. They're both wearing blue and yellow. And then on the front of his cart, which is red, he has a fucking printed out thing that says, "This cart identifies as blue."
Oh my God, dude.
It was fucking amazing.
Jonathan is one of the biggest beauties. Like, I don't really know how else to describe him, and that's very much a hockey term, but he is just, if I had to pick like one dude, and he's like probably almost 50 now, or he is over 50, I'm not sure because I can't tell. He is like the most bro. He will go out with the boys and fucking golf and party, and you tell him when and he's there, like, and a very successful dude that has been lucky enough to put himself in that position. But he just parties his fucking dick off. So he was the one that I went to Scotland with. I've mentioned a few times on the pod. And we were playing the last round of our trip in Scotland. He has a good it's basically a good family friend that he's like, it's like an uncle to him. Their names are Jim and Joan Jameson, just like the perfect fucking Scottish couple. Just super cool. And Jim is a member at this golf course in Scotland, just outside of East Kilbride. And it was like a Parkland style, super cool course. The clubhouse is like an old castle, like, and that's just your run of the mill. You walk in and it's not like a castle, but it's a castle. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would be like an 8 to 10 bedroom house. So it's significantly large and it's just so fucking cool. But it was me and Jim against Jonathan and Randy, our other buddy that came with us on the trip. And so Jim's like a 12, but he's like the most proper 12. He's like, oh, proper 12. That is fucking, I didn't even.
That's ironic.
I know. Because he's like in his 70s, and he doesn't hit it that far, but he just gets it around. He's a solid stick. And at the time, I was like a +4, +5, whatever. So it was me and Jim against Jonathan, who's like a 2 or a 3, and Randy, who was like a 10 at the time, or 8 or 10. I don't know. It was whatever it was. It was a vanity handicap. But anywho, so Jim and I had Jonathan and Randy like one down going into 16. And I hit it to like 20 feet, and then Jonathan hit it to like 10 feet, and Randy hit it to like 15 feet. And they started bantering, "Hey, fucking eyes front, motherfucker."
I'm watching the Ryder Cup stuff.
Oh, okay. You're just so dialed in. So we get up to the green, and I'm the furthest one. I think Jim like missed the green. He was kind of out of it. So I have a 20-footer, and Jonathan and Randy are going back and forth because Randy wants Jonathan to putt before him, because Randy straight up told Jonathan, "I have a better chance of making this 15-footer than you do of making your 10-footer." And that just sent Jonathan into a fucking tailspin. He was fit, like he wanted to fight Randy like on the spot, and that's his teammate. And so I step up because I'm out, so I'm going before them, and I just knock it in, and I'm like, "You two shut the fuck up," and they both miss it, and we ended up winning the match. And I was like, I just wanted to shut you guys up because you wouldn't stop arguing who's gonna hit this putt first. Because Randy was just the kind of guy who would think he has a better shot of making a 40-footer than you do a 10. He's just the kind of guy that thinks he can make everything, which great mindset. It's not reality. But that was a great story where I was like, "You two shut the fuck up." Theirs both were actually for par. And so I knocked mine in for birdie so they could just pick theirs up. I'm like, you don't even have to worry about making par.
That's when you just pick up their mark for them and just walk on.
Yeah. I was like, "You two quit fucking arguing over there, pipe down." But
Jonathan, he crashes out every time we won a hole. Like, it was every time we hit a good shot, he was a full like, "Oh my God, you fucking fuck's sake, fucking wanker."
Have you ever, and I feel like Jonathan's maybe a microcosm of a lot of European, like, British, Scottish, Irish golfers. he lives and dies by the Ryder Cup. Like, you will not find a guy more proud to be from Scotland, even though he moved to America when he was 18, made all of his money in America, became very successful in America. He will stand on the table for Scotland any day of the week. And I respect the shit out of that. Like, I was actually listening to a podcast on the way back from the golf course, and they were talking about like how the Ryder Cup really doesn't do it for a lot of American. Like, I mean, American fans love the Ryder Cup, but it basically just made me realize that golf was originally like a European sport. It was definitely a British, English, Scottish, Irish sport. It's been popular much longer there than it has been in America. And so golf, like the Ryder Cup, almost feels like the World Cup, for Americans versus the British, the Northern Europeans, whatever. I can't keep fucking naming all the countries. But that basically, like, golf is a big deal in America, but it means even more to these Europeans. You know what I mean? They hold it in such a high regard that the Ryder Cup is essentially like, it feels like the World Cup equivalent of soccer, where as Americans, you care about the World Cup, but you don't like live and die. These people are legitimately like fucking, and maybe I'm just basing off Jonathan, but he is obsessed.
It's one person from Scotland and it's everybody.
But I mean, when I was over
No,
there,
it's fair. It's fair.
I got that similar vibe where it is a cultural thing.
And I think any chance to like beat America in something is very much a rallying cry for any country, any group of countries, whatever, like it's like, fuck America, even though everybody loves it here. And apparently Rory, best country in the world, America. That was a crazy quote. Do we want to get into the Ryder Cup? Do we have anything else?
I don't think so. Oh, I was actually going to talk to you about this. I just have a quick thing. So I went to Buffalo Wild Wings the other day.
Fire spot, dude. I feel like Buffalo Wild Wings to me is so centralized and so mainstream that people start to talk shit about it when in reality it's fucking good. It's good wings.
It's like the Nickelback of fucking like normal ass family restaurants. It's not necessarily like a sports bar. But yes, I would agree. It's gone so negative that it's almost like, fuck, dude, if I had a Buffalo Wild Wings closer, I would probably be there pretty frequently. Like, the prices aren't bad, beer, whatever. Their wings there for a while were dog shit. Like, especially the bone-in wings. They were the quality of wing. The sauces are always good. That's what they, got popular for. But their quality of wing was just in the toilet. It was garbage. And now I feel like they've kind of turned a corner there. I could be wrong, but I thought they're, pretty good. But what I wanted to talk to you about was there's been a few times in my life where I give you a lot of shit for something, and then I end up liking it, and I kind of have to slightly take a step back, eat a little bit.
That's one of the better feelings I can have as a person.
Hey, and credit to me for admitting it. I'm man enough to admit when I'm wrong.
Credit to you for crediting yourself, yeah.
But I did order boneless wings when I was there because I was in golf clothes. I didn't want to fucking get down. It was like noon. I didn't want to get down on a dozen wings, covering my face and shit. So I ordered boneless wings, and they virtually are chicken nuggets, but they're pretty fucking good. Like, they're just chicken nuggets dipped in sauce, and I cannot hate on them any longer. Like, I have to give credit to boneless wings where my problem is you call it a wing. It's not a fucking wing. It's just call it a chicken nugget. Like, it's a wing has to have a bone in it. There's not fucking birds flying around with wings with nothing fucking in them but meat. Like, that's just on the principal aspect of it. That's just not a thing. But overall, I will say you were obsessed with boneless wings, and I don't know when's the last time you got them, whatever. But
I had like 16 last night. So
okay, where do you order your boneless wings from? I have never.
So last night I met with some buddies to pick our Nuggets tickets at a Stoney's in Sloan's Lake, and they had all you can eat wing night. And when somebody hits me with all you can eat wings, I'm not gonna not. And they had some great flavors. They had a buffalo pesto, absolutely gas, and then a sriracha hot honey, which was, I'm just like getting crying thinking about it. It was hot. And then I just had the regular buffalo, but I went all boneless, dude. I like chicken wings a lot, like regular chicken wings, not boneless wings. I just cannot do the fucking big mess of everything on my hands, my face. Like a boneless wing, you just fork it, you pop it, done. That's it.
Yeah, no, I
Fork it,
totally
pop,
agree.
fork it, pop it, chew it, pop it.
Holy shit. That brings me to one other food thing because you just brought it up, and then we can talk a little Ryder Cup. Is hot honey just a buzzword now where
It
everyone
is for me.
hears?
When I see it, I'm like, yep,
But
honey.
dude, we've been putting honey on our pizza for years. Like that's what we grew up doing. And shout out Bojo's Pizza. That's a Colorado staple. Like if you know, you know type shit. But they've been putting honey on all their tables for years. That's always been a thing. And maybe it's like a sopapilla. Like I haven't had a sopapilla in forever. And fuck, that just gets me fired up thinking about it. I would love to have
I
a
bet the
sopapilla.
casino has sopapillas.
Oh, I bet they got a lot of shit that I'm about to tear up. But hot honey is just such a like hot honey pizza, hot honey wings, hot honey chicken, hot. It's like no shit. People like honey. It's fucking. It tastes good. It's not
Yeah,
like
but I
hot
think
honey that putting
it's
shit
for
on
the
honey
people.
is good.
It's for the people like me that like I've ordered. I'm kind of out of my barbecue ordering phase, barbecue sauce, just because it's always the same and it's just not great. But like hot honey is like, oh, it's a sauce where it's not going to blaze your face off, but it's also got some barbecue or some buffalo flavor where the heat is turned up just a little bit and you can enjoy that versus, straight hot buffalo. And I'm like crying or eating it and I'm not enjoying it.
Do you think that they were sitting in a room like, how do we turn the heat up a little bit, but also add a little sweet so Spencer can still enjoy it? And they're like, let's do hot honey. Is that
Honey.
it just doesn't it is like the most obvious thing in the world. No shit, you put honey on pretty much anything. You could put fucking Will Levis puts mayonnaise on in his coffee. You put like mayonnaise is totally off the, but there's just condiments where you add them to anything. Like, oh, you like sugar? You no shit. Like fucking it tastes good. So that's just been one thing that I can't get over. And like Nashville hot honey. You put Nashville hot honey on anything and everyone's like, oh my God, that's the fucking best thing ever.
Including me.
Yeah.
I'm ordering that.
Oh my God, you're the worst. I do want to grab one more Surfside for this because I roll us into a little bit of the Ryder Cup. I'm gonna grab a Surfside. They're very close, and then we can fucking keep going here.
All right, perfect. So we are going to start talking about the Ryder Cup. First of all, Mitchell went yesterday to the practice round on a Wednesday, so he's got some inside info. Maybe not, probably not. He probably had too many Surfsides at the Ryder Cup to have any inside info. But he's going to take us through what he bought also at the Ryder Cup merch tent, which probably was another level of merch, I would imagine, just being USA and the country part of it. Like all these other courses, like the BMW last year at Castle Pines, great merch tent, I thought overall. But I can imagine the Ryder Cup is on some sort of a different level with the merch. So we're going to talk about the merch. We're going to react to the first round foursomes. I'm terrible with those names. I think it's foursomes because they're playing alternate shot in the morning. We're going to react to the pairings, United States versus Europe, and then we'll also give our final predictions for the end of the Ryder Cup. And we got a few fun little factoids and things to throw in there. But let's start with your haul. Do you have that on you? What is the story here? Are you going to pop the top and put on some different shirts for us? I know you said you weren't last podcast, but are you changing your mind? What's going on?
No, so well, basically the way it broke down was I had in my mind that I was probably gonna get like 2 t-shirts and a hat because I have a million golf polos. I don't need a polo. I don't need a fucking pullover. I probably could have used a hoodie, but even then, as you get older, like how much clothes can you have? How much clothes can you really wear? I mean, Missy's actually giving me shit for this like a week or two ago because I've got like a good 40 t-shirts, a good 25 golf polos that I would say, when I'm teaching, I have a, select probably 6 to 8 that I wear. But then when I'm playing golf, I switch it up. But she was like, "Oh yeah, that's like in your typical arsenal of like," she's like, "That's just kind of what you wear." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's what I own. Like that, I don't buy fucking new clothes every 10 minutes." She's got a little bit of a shopping obsession, but that's beside the point. Like every new occasion, she's buying something. I'm like, fucking
Yeah.
throw the fastball. I'm wearing this t-shirt that's been in my drawer, and I'm wearing these pants or these shorts and these shoes. Like it's not rocket science for a dude. And I'm pretty much at the point. I'm sorry. Did you have something you were going to say?
No, I do think that it's a kind of a women versus men thing where a new occasion calls for a new shirt or a new dress or new shoes every single time. Where I've been playing the hits with the same fucking suit that I've worn to 10 friends' weddings over the last 6 years. And the only reason I would ever change that is if I don't fit in it anymore. That's my barometer for changing certain clothes that I wear. And I tried, dude. I tried so hard to get rid of so many things when I moved, and it just didn't happen. And then I'm packing these back up, and I literally, you get burnt out with packing back up or unpacking all your stuff at your new place. And I'm like unpacking 10 to 15 shirts, and I'm like, why am I wearing these still? Why did I bring these to the new house? These should have been in the Goodwill drop. So that part is a little frustrating for me still, and my closet's so full, and I have so many things that I don't really wear anymore that it kind of drives me crazy. But at the same time, I'm like, when I pull a shirt out that I'm ready to give away, I take like 2 looks, and I'm like, what if I wear it for this? Like I have the same shirt. I'd tap that green shirt. It's like a golf shirt. I only wear it on St. Patty's Day every year, but I wear it on St. Patty's Day every year. So every time I try to go give it away, I'm like, no, maybe we'll keep it for St. Patty's Day again.
I feel that. Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat. When you move or you're packing shit up or whatever, you always rediscover shit that you haven't worn in like 2 years, but you're like, why haven't I worn that? And then it just goes back to the bottom of the drawer or the pile, and it's just fucked. Like you never wear it. But it stays around. So anywho, I pretty much landed on 2 t-shirts and 1 hat. And I can't hear Sawyer anymore because Spencer muted it, but I heard Saw Dog's back there. I hope he's having a blast hitting balls. Spencer did take Sawyer out for his first round of golf yesterday on the big course with the full size club. So that was electric to see. Proud uncle moment. I got him those golf clubs, and I'm just going to be the guy that buys him shit and then sees it. And I'm like, oh, that I contributed to that. But anywho, so I ended up with 2 hats and 1 t-shirt. Pretty fucking, and
That's really good self-control though, I think, because I get in there and I'm like, you may never come back here.
I
You may never
know.
be back. It's not like the waste management or those tournaments that we go and we know we're going to go every year, or you can go to Copperhead and the Valspar and know you may go back. The Ryder Cup is something that I want to go to, but I know if I go once, I am not sure when the next time I'll be back is. So that shopping cart may get a little more full.
No, and I agree, but also how many times, and I guess this is somewhat like anti-patriotic of me, but how many times am I just gonna wear red, white, and blue shit just on a fucking whim? Like I generally am not just randomly rocking a full outfit of American flag shit. That's
On
not.
that same note, I have the same polo that I wear every 4th of July,
Yeah,
and I keep it
exactly.
just for that.
Yeah. I'm like, these are my 2 shirts for the 4th of July. This is my Thanksgiving shirt. These are my 3 Christmas shirts. St. Patty's, you just have a shirt for every holiday, and then you mix and match, between the rest. But Missy got a quarter zip, which was very cool, and a super sick t-shirt. And I do have to, no free shout outs, but 47. Oh, wrong side of the hat. 47 makes
Great
the
brand.
yeah, makes the best fucking hats. I just love, like, this hat is absolutely gas, so I had to have that. And then I got one other navy blue Ryder. It has the Ryder Cup smaller logo with a red rope on it. Super sick hat as well. So I got those 2, and I definitely could have gone like nuts, but I didn't. And then I got you a t-shirt. I got Kylie a t-shirt. I got Sawyer a t-shirt. And then what I did get us, which I didn't tell you about, is I got us each posters, which are
Oh,
super.
that's sick.
They're like posters, but they're art, like they're prints of art, basically. So they're super cool. It's like the 18th with the Ryder Cup like painted in the background. It's super cool. Like that'll be like the commemorative thing that I hang on to. I was gonna buy a flag, but honestly, when I saw those posters, I was like, that's even cooler because you can put it in a frame and like put it in the man cave. You can put it in the garage or your office or wherever you want to put it, but it's fucking dope. And I also wanted to talk to you about your level of stolen valor on me getting you even like a t-shirt's a t-shirt. But when there is nothing more demoralizing as a human being when you run into somebody and you're wearing something and they're like, oh, did you go to that? And you're like, no, I just got it as like this person bought it for me. And you're like, and they're like, oh, okay. Like they wanted to talk to you about it because it sounds like they went or whatever. And you've never been more disappointed. So I was honestly playing that situation out in my head for you when Spencer's wearing your Ryder Cup. And honestly, it looks like the fucking gypsy, looks like the thing that Aladdin came out of, or what is
A genie in a bottle.
yeah,
Yeah, it does look like a little genie bottle. But the reason I liked that shirt, obviously, I didn't see the whole. You didn't FaceTime me through the whole tent. But that shirt is very low key in terms of it doesn't scream I went to the Ryder Cup. It's just a cool shirt that also means the Ryder Cup. Like if you know scenario. I don't think anybody's going to come talk to me about the Ryder Cup at Bethpage when they see that shirt on me. So it was like a safe spot.
I agree with that. And that's where I was like, okay, I don't have a problem getting him this, but that was also where I don't know. We've talked about it numerous times on the pod, but I'm not the guy that needs to buy. I'm not a logo whore. Let's just put it that way. I don't need to show off every place that I've played, everywhere that I've been. Like I will say that in New Jersey, due process is probably the most popular. Like, oh, I've played here logo, and it's probably one of the most high end spots. But the logo is a clover with like a horse head on it, it's a super sick logo. But every time I see a due process logo, I'm like, you're not a fucking member there, dude. Like that's the thing is if you wear that merch out in public just to a random event, you're not a member there. Like the members there are not going out wearing due process shit to a public event. It's very much a dude that drives a fucking BMW and rents out $1,000 a month apartment. I don't know.
He played there once because his buddy's uncle's dad was sick.
Yeah,
He got
exactly.
the last minute call.
And that is where the hat is a sweet spot for me. Like anybody that wears a hat, I will never knock, from anywhere. I'm like, that's a cool logo. I'll wear the hat, but a shirt, that's another step where I'm like, you're wearing the shirt and you played there, once that is maybe a bridge too far for me. But I was also very apprehensive to FaceTime you in the tent because there was so much happening that I was like, I am the person that I hate in public right now. Like I didn't have you like blaring, and they had music blaring. There was 1,000 people in there. So nobody could even hear anyway, but I was like, fuck me. I'm FaceTiming you right now. Just I gave you like 4 options. I'm like, pick one of these. I'm not taking you all over the place because of course the women's clothes, we walked through every single fucking sector of women's clothing just to make sure. And the worst part was the 2 things she bought, we saw first thing. And she's like, I just want to make sure I don't like anything else. I'm like, oh, here we go. So 15 minutes later, I'm like, can we fucking get it going here? Like, let's get the show on the road. She grabbed the 2 things. And then I just went up, grabbed a couple hats, grabbed a couple t-shirts. But yeah, the merch was unbelievable. Like it is just red, white, and blue just hits. Even though I said I don't wear it that often because I don't, the colorway is just so good. Like I've always loved the Buffalo Bills, the New England Patriots logos. Just you can't go wrong with red, white, and blue, or even just navy blue and red. That is like one of my favorite color combos. So I could have gone absolutely crazy. And I do have to get on my soapbox for like 2 minutes, even maybe like 30 seconds. So we spent $530 in the shop, which is, far and away not the highest, even by a fucking fraction. I'm sure there's people that drop $5,000 if not more, like in like sick amounts. But then at the end of checking out, and by the way, I don't know if you heard about this, but all the volunteers at Bethpage had to pay to volunteer. They
Yeah, we
legitimately
talked about that on the
okay.
pod.
Yes, I didn't remember if we talked about it or not, but just absolutely disgusting work. And the reason was that the merch that they gave the volunteers was super nice. It was like polo Ralph Lauren shit. I almost said Ralph Lauren, just tongue twisted motherfucker. But they gave them very nice merchandise. They gave them, a few quarter zips, this and that. But realistically, you're telling me they couldn't afford to just pay for a volunteer's fucking, clothes for literally working for nothing. So all these people working in the merch tent, I assume are volunteers. There's a few of them doing like merchandising. I would assume they're not like volunteers because they're actually working. And I think they probably brought in the merchandise and they were asking people if they like were out of size, if they could go check for them and all that. If they were volunteers, that is an absolute crock of shit. But just in general, all these people actually paid to volunteer. So this guy checks us out and he goes, "Do you want to round up for PGA Hope to donate to PGA Hope?" And I'm like, there's millions and millions, hundreds of millions of dollars being pumped into the fucking PGA and the USGA because of this Ryder Cup. And you want me to donate more money on the backs of volunteers, on the backs of players that are not getting paid. It's the fucking
They are.
Well, they are, but they're donating it. But that was my problem with the European team. Like Luke Donald mentioned it a couple times. Oh, we're playing for the love of the game. Oh, we haven't gotten paid. Who gives a fuck, dude? Like seriously, it just burns my ass. Do you want to donate to the PGA? Absolutely the fuck not. I do not. Like
Dude, I am dying at the fact that you ripped off $530 of merch and then wouldn't donate to round up like 90 cents for the.
no, it's
Not that I'm saying you should, but that just fucking is. If I had to encapsulate you in a nutshell with money, that is it right there. It's like to a T.
it is
Like
the principle of the
fucking
matter, bro.
47 cents. Are you kidding me? Fuck that.
It is like no, but they just get you. Like you're trapped. Your hands are tied at that point. Like today, again, I got asked to donate to I stopped at McDonald's. Shameful stop, but I fucking did it. And they asked me if I wanted to round up. I'm like, everyone is attacking my wallet. Like everyone wants donations on top of the trillions of dollars that the fucking McDonald's is making and the USGA and the PGA. That just is disgusting to me that the PGA thinks that they don't have enough money for these scholarships and for it is just blasphemy. So them asking you to round up that and I mean it is a smart not marketing, but it's a smart tactic because generally people are just going to give in and be like, yeah, go ahead. And they're probably going to make millions of dollars from it. And it's probably going to pay fucking Jay Monahan's salary for all we know. So that is just the shit that sends me overboard. There's millions and millions and millions of dollars being spent in fucking merchandise at this place on top of food, on top of tickets, on top of TV viewership. It just is blasphemy that they're asking for donations. So we can move on. Merch tent was sick. Should we get into the golf a little bit? Because Brendan Anderson just dropped a comment. Brandel Chambly has been firing off Bryson takes. And I don't know if there's a dude that has dug himself a bigger hole with golf fans in general than Brandel Chambly, but it's pretty much at that point.
Well, the bizarre thing from Brandel is like there's obviously the Bryson hate and the bots comment, which whatever. He doesn't understand YouTube and he doesn't understand where golf is going in. Maybe he understands, but he doesn't want to be a part of it, which fine. You're fucking old. I get it.
He hasn't been a part of golf anyway. He's a fucking nobody hack.
But then he comes on here and I think we can pretty much all agree. Unless you're just fucking shitting red, white, and blue and just got your head so far in the clouds. This European team is much better than this United States team this year. And granted, yes, it's on U.S. soil. I get it. There's definitely a home field advantage there. I think the United States is like -150 to win the Ryder Cup, -155, somewhere in that range on the sports books. And granted, that's where money comes in. It's not what they think is going to happen. But to me, if this was played on a neutral site, it would be flipped the other way around. And if it was the same exact teams and this Ryder Cup was in Europe, the Europe team would be -190 or -200 almost. That's how I feel about this right now. And I hope these guys prove me wrong, right? But I'm just sticking to this take. And then Brandel comes on here, and I was listening, with one ear kind of as we were talking. And he's like looking at the American teams that they put out, which let's get into that kind of right after this and segue. But he's like, yeah, I see the U.S. at least being up 3-1, maybe just sweeping the morning sessions. I'm like, what are you looking at? They put Colin Morikawa out there. They put fucking Russell Henley with Scottie Scheffler. They put fucking they sat fucking Sam Burns, which is fine because he's not that great, but he's Scottie's guy. And then they fucking have Morikawa out there, and then they've got one good pairing
from all people, like it.
Yeah, and they have one good pairing of fucking Bryson and JT, who's been a little better lately, but Bryson and JT, and then they got to go against Rahm and Hatton, and then you've got fucking. Here it is, Colin and Harris English, and then you got fucking Schauffele and Cantlay, who are, Colin Morikawa and Harris English versus Rory McIlroy and Tommy Fleetwood. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, just chop
fucking
that
put
up
my mortgage on that. That's one loss for sure.
Yeah.
And then, I will say, though, if we're talking, kind of getting into the pairings and at least the 4 balls tomorrow, I don't know what the fuck Luke Donald's thinking, putting Matt Fitzpatrick in there over like a Lowry or over who's the other guy that they left on the sidelines? Like Fitzpatrick getting the nod was crazy to me over Lowry and Justin Rose. How are you going to sit Justin Rose in the morning sessions?
Yeah.
Like this everything I'm saying could go completely the other way. And I can just admit I'm wrong on Sunday about the captain's picks. But yeah, of course you think Henley and Scottie are good, Greg. Fucking hook 'em, Bevo, whatever that fucking horn's name is. Fucking, of course, anybody with Scotty's good. Scotty will make anybody good. They could have put Scotty with fucking.
Has paired up well with Scotty, but even then, like and it's so funny because they hear you hear him talking about Russell Henley, and they're like, he's number 3 in the world. He is that just is the epitome of golf right now. If Russell Henley is the 3rd best player in the fucking world, I'll eat.
When's the last time you won a fucking tournament? Were we even born? No, I'm just.
I think he won.
I'm getting a little crazy.
He won one last year. I think he won like fucking at Sedgefield. I want to say he won the Wyndham or something. But yeah, it is definitely Brandel just is a mouthpiece basically for the USGA, for the PGA, and he's made that pretty clear now for quite some time. So why do we expect anything different? But I just wonder how much longer they can leave this dude on the air. Because and maybe it's like basically like Riggs posting his putting video every day, which I think it gets so much interaction just from the hate. I wonder if people legitimately watch Golf Channel just to fucking see what kind of ridiculous, I'm glad I used that R word, ridiculous type of take that Brandel Chambly has to spit out that day. It is beyond blasphemy that he is still on TV. It just, I don't understand how they couldn't do a better job than that. I have no other words for it.
Yeah, let's get back into the pairings a little bit. I think Rory McIlroy, Tommy Fleetwood is the number 1 overall pairing in the morning of all the teams. Who's your least favorite pairing of all of them, whether United States or Europe? And I do have, I sent you this. Let me go through this and then you can figure out your least favorite pairing. But the odds on the first matches. So Bryson and JT, Rahm and Hatton. Bryson and JT are a slight dog. They're -110, Rahm and Hatton -120. That will be that's worth getting up at 5:10 local for me. I hope my son doesn't wake up, but if he does, he's going to be so fucking dialed in. He woke up at 5:30 this morning. It was terrible. But I'm going to be dialed to that match. And then, excuse me.
Bless you.
Scottie Scheffler, Russell Henley are a fairly big favorite, -175 against Fitzpatrick and Ludwig. Colin Morikawa and Harris English are +135 McIlroy Fleetwood -185 in that match. And then Scheffler Cantlay -125, a slight favorite over Hovland and McIntyre.
Yeah, I mean, I got to think that my two least favorite pairings, just of two dudes, is Fitzpatrick Aubert. I mean, Fitzpatrick has definitely turned it on a bit later in the season, so I like that. But Aubert has not been good so far this year. And then obviously Morikawa and Harris English. I hope they come out and surprise people, but I would not be shocked at all if they just got the doors blown off them. And McIlroy Fleetwood going out third is kind of an interesting pairing, but I definitely, the DeChambeau Thomas pairing to me feels slightly questionable, but I can totally see the Europeans going Rahm Hatton first just because they're just fucking a powerhouse. Their team, like their boys on Live. Oh, who is this who just joined us on the chat? Hi, Sawyer. Hi,
He
buddy.
can't hear you.
Oh, boo. Hi, buddy.
He's helping with the Ryder Cup predictions.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you need to do a video of making picks.
Oh, I probably should, huh?
Yes. If you don't follow Spencer, what's your TikTok page?
I think his is Sawyer's Stone Cold Locks or something like that.
Sawyer's Stone Cold Locks. You got to bring that back for March Madness for basically every game. I want Sawyer to make picks. But overall, there's just a few odd ones like DeChambeau Thomas.
So apparently that's what went into that pairing was the fact that they play the same ball.
Okay.
I mean, listen, I'm not trying to hate on Keegan. I just think there was a few slam dunk pairings that they could have thrown out there that would have given us a significant advantage in the morning. And granted, it's foursomes, so it's going to be alternate shot. But that's why I also don't get, like, for the European side, why do you sit Justin Rose? Justin Rose, like, if you're worried about him tiring out, I understand that. But to me, like, it's half the shots in the morning. And then you're still, you can send him back out in the afternoon to hit more shots. But I don't understand the sitting of Justin Rose. And I don't understand, I guess, going with Morikawa, who is the, is he biting the mic?
It might be in his mouth right now. I'm not sure. I can't see it.
He is, Morikawa is like the clear, has a past, played in the Ryder Cup, all this stuff. Like he's very seasoned at the Ryder Cup, but like I don't understand playing Morikawa tomorrow morning at all.
100%, I agree.
And maybe they're looking at it like we're kind of looking at the Broncos season right now, where it's very early and it's the first set of tee time for the first pairing, so they're not like overly worried. But to me, if you get out to a 3-1 lead or 3.5 to a half lead, you can be like ahead and like dominate the Ryder Cup. But at the same time, no matter what happens tomorrow morning, even if it's 4-0, it's not over. So maybe they're trying some things out where they feel more comfortable. Like, all right, let's give this a shot. If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, when we get down to, nut cutting time and we need to win some matches, we're going to put the kind of the better pairings out there, the pairings that we feel like should be winning out there.
Yeah, I definitely feel like JJ Spawn probably should have gotten the nod in the first pairings, because I just think he's playing really good golf right now. And even though he's a rookie, I think that he would go out and just be on fire. Yeah, I would agree with Greg in that the winner of Group 1 on Friday wins the Ryder Cup 68% of the time. So I definitely don't disagree there. I wanted to touch on a tweet, which is actually pretty funny, just talking about, you mentioned Justin Rose getting burnt out. So they have a top tracer range set up on the driving range at Bethpage, and they track the amount of balls that each person hit throughout the week this week. And so, unsurprisingly, Bryson hit significantly more range balls than anybody else, because he's just a certified range rat and loves to beat balls pretty consistently no matter where he's at. But then you take that number and you go all the way down to Justin Rose has hit 84 golf balls. That is every club pro like yeah, give me 25 balls a day. I'm going to warm up. I'm going to get my body loose and I'm good. Like, I don't need to hit 8 million golf balls. And that, I mean, it kind of goes to show you Bryson, how much work he actually puts in. Just, he's such a golf sicko that he actually does this shit. But then we also have videos of Victor Hovland on the range. He was number 2, JJ Spawn, number 3, Patrick Cantlay, Sepp Straka, Scottie, Sam Burns, and Ludwig were all over 200 balls. But yeah, Justin Rose hitting fucking 84 balls is absolutely hilarious. That kind of fires me up.
Yeah, and who's BG? BG.
That's what I'm having a tough time trying to remember right on the spot.
Ben Griffin. He's like, nah, I'm not playing. I'm not getting a nod in the morning. I'm just happy to be here. Benny
probably hit so
Benny
few
Brooms
range balls they didn't have any max flies out there for him. There, he's like, well, I can't fucking even hit my own golf ball on the range, so why am I going to hit any of these balls? But yeah, I was kind of wondering that as well. I did see Rom beating some balls yesterday. I saw Ludwig beating a few balls. But back to my Ryder Cup experience, it was very, very cool just to be there, to be at the actual venue, to be around. But we legitimately, so we were in a box on 18, not a big deal. Life sucks. Free drinks, free food. The food spread was phenomenal. All the drinks were awesome. But having said that, I probably saw a total of like a dozen golf shots the entire day because the celebrities rolled through. I got to see Eli Manning, that big goofy fuck, pack it around. I got to see Bobby Flay, Michael Strahan, a few of those guys beat it around on the 18th hole. And that 18th hole is narrow as shit. Like, it is, talk about a tough golf hole. It is brutal. And especially, so one other thing, not to get too far off track, but one thing about Bethpage that is huge is that there's not a lot of run-up areas. A lot of the greens are push-up greens, and there's not many aprons whatsoever in front of the actual greens. So that's going to be very challenging for a lot of these guys. That is what makes this golf course so hard, is you essentially have to fly the ball into these relatively small greens. And Sawyer's just got me in a blender right now. He's playing with the microphone. He's just bullshitting, making faces at me. So I really, can't. Oh, and did he rip ass as well, or shit his pants? Okay, so Spencer's sitting with a lap full of shit currently, and Sawyer's got his mouth all over the mic. But we pot on, we push through. So these greens are very big, push up, like elevated greens with not a lot of room around them. I guess they do have the rough cut down, though, significantly. So it's going to kind of play into the U.S. players' hands, where hit it as far as you can out there and try to wedge it somewhat close. They do have that in their favor. But overall, the experience is very cool. But I almost feel like stolen valor as well, partially, just because I didn't actually watch that many golf shots. The U.S. team played the front 9 again. They only played the front 9 Tuesday and Wednesday, which is kind of odd. They didn't even play the back 9. So that kind of almost makes me want to lean European team more.
Maybe they just thought all the matches would be over by 9. They just go 9 and 9 up, all of them 9 and 8.
That's what was funny about explaining to Missy like match play, and just she goes, well, why aren't they playing all 18? They're gonna have to. I'm like, well, there's a good chance they don't. There's a lot of groups that won't even make it to 18. She's like, how do they not play all 18? I'm like, well, technically, they only need to play 10 holes. Like, if obviously it's not going to happen, but there could be a guy that goes on. If you make 30 or 40 birdies, you could be fucking in and out of the first 2 days, and even then, it's not going to be that short. But it was just funny to explain, like, oh, match play, you're playing against your opponent, that type of shit. But the venue itself, it is just kind of encapsulates America in general. Like, you're out on Long Island, you got a bunch of New Yorkers drunk yelling shit at people. Like, Rory's been getting chirped already. The whole European team has gotten chirped a shitload. And then you have Rory and Bryson going at it as well, as Brendan just mentioned to us too. So it's I think we're gearing up for some fireworks for sure. I definitely feel like that's coming.
Well, there's the Rory chirp today from the fan of you don't need an extra button to choke Rory, and then that actually made Rory more endearing to me a little bit because he just laughed it off and was like, "Yeah, that was a really good one." Essentially, is what he thought. Like he, when you're that successful, but also have kind of choked a few times here and there, like it definitely is worth your time to just kind of laugh it off and be like, okay, that was, if it's just an asshole comment, you can be like, all right, that guy's like he did it, the players or whatever, when he was absolutely not having that comment. But now that he's won the Masters, I feel like he's a little more chill. And that was just one of the greatest digs of all time. Like, shout out to that random fan. And
Yeah,
that
that
video
that was
should go
very well
mega
done.
viral.
I guess a few people have mentioned Ozembic to John Rahm. They're chirping
Yes,
him.
I've heard that.
What's another? I don't really know if there's any other that stand out in the terms of chirps. But then we've got Rory and Bryson going at it, where Bryson's a little corny. Rory's also like a relatively like dislikable dude, even though a lot of Americans like him. So I think that it benefits the American team because I don't think it really means anything to Bryson. That's just who he is. But Rory having to clap back with like, oh, well, you know, just mentioning me. Rory just seems to be on the defensive of a lot of this. He's rarely on offense, which is kind of unfortunate for him. But it feels like he is always like clapping back at somebody. And Bryson is a shit stirrer. You know what I mean? That's what makes content. He knows how to get views. He knows how to, this is literally his job.
It's all bots, bro.
Dude, it's all bots. But I think it can only benefit the Americans. And, you know, this is not a hot take by any means, but I could see this Ryder Cup going one of two ways. I could see the U.S. team coming out, and if they come out hot and the crowd gets behind them, it could be not over before it could be a big gap quickly. Or if the Europeans hang in there and it's pretty split after day one, I definitely think that favors the Europeans because the biggest way to shut up the crowd is to, you know, win the match. Like if the American fans don't have anything to cheer about, it's going to be quiet, and there's nothing, you know, the fucking European teams won 5 of the last 7 Ryder Cups. It's not like it's been a real back and forth here. The Americans have gotten dominated as of recent, you know, for the most part, other than on American soil these last couple times. But ultimately, the Europeans are good at coming into a raucous place, and this is what they thrive on. This is what they live for. Like, these American dudes are just not quite built the same. And slightly off topic, but I just wanted to touch on it as well. Did you see the suits with no tie and white like tennis shoes? I thought that was like, that kind of made me want to bet Europe as well.
That kind of made me want to bet the other side pretty quickly. I did not see that, actually. And I kind of agree with your take. I do think this is not necessarily a hot take and seems insane to come out of my mouth for a golf tournament. But I do think that the crowd and the atmosphere needs the United States needs that, or else they're not winning this. Like, and those do come hand in hand. The better they play, the more the crowd will be into it. But I feel like it really needs to be, they need that 6th man or 13th man this week, big time.
100%. Yeah, like you said earlier, on a neutral site, this is Europe all day. So the fans need to show up. They need to get behind America, which I don't have any question they will. And this kind of brings me to one other quick, ancillary subject. Did you see the one reporter asking, who was it? I think it was Matt Fitzpatrick, about if his family felt safe?
Oh, yeah, they asked Tommy Fleetwood about that. Come on, man. Come on.
And so I guess what I've heard is that Matt Fitzpatrick's family did feel threatened a few years ago at the U.S. Open at Brookline. And to what level, who knows? it just
anybody's threatened nowadays.
Yeah.
I was actually talking
so
about this today in my cart with Charlie, and I was like, dude, the people that are like legitimately going to threaten someone are not paying thousands of dollars to go to the Ryder Cup. Like, yes, you get drunk. Sometimes people have a little too much fun, but to be a serious threat to humanity, these people are not around the Ryder Cup and Bethpage Black this weekend.
It just so happens that Charlie Wyatt is probably one of those people that would threaten them and actually mean it. And
yes, and he's nowhere close to being able to ever attend the Ryder Cup. So
yes, he would probably not be in that conversation. But yeah, I totally agree with you. It is just, it's funny in general because obviously golf is a serious thing and I take it serious, but golf is not football. It's not hockey. It's very hard to like get
manufacture emotion and get hyped up. Yeah, it really is.
Exactly. It's all of this I will say though that, did you see the intro video with Stu Feiner narrating it?
No, I need to watch that.
And that is literally going to be the opening video for the Ryder Cup. It is fucking electric. Like, it almost kind of gives me goosebumps thinking about it. But like you said, there's a lot of manufacturing of emotions and storylines, and like it feels a little WWE-ish for sure. Like Rory being like, "Oh, it's probably going to boil over." It either boils over or it doesn't. Like it's just so hard to. It's fucking golf, man. I mean, it is the most. Don't get me wrong. It is the most electric golf event that exists on this planet. But at the end of the day, it's still just golf, and these guys are going to go out and we'll see who stands up to the pressure and who. Can you imagine that fucking first tee shot? Like, because you have the 18th green kind of next to the first tee. There's a shitload of space around. Like, I think that kind of played into as well who they sent off in that first pairing. If they put a rookie off in that first pairing, he would be liable to just fucking whiff it. Like, I heard David
cold top.
Oh, dude, remember David Faraday talking about the Ryder Cup? He was so hungover that he played in one Ryder Cup. And he goes, I was so hungover, and it was so loud on the first tee. I legitimately was worried about missing the ball. Like, and that's David Faraday in a nutshell for you. But these guys, I think it's something that if you haven't done this, and surprisingly, I think this is Russell Henley's rookie go.
No, I think he was in the last Ryder Cup.
Was he in the? I think he maybe was in the President's, but not the Ryder Cup. Or I could be wrong. One of the guys, maybe it's Harris English. There's a few rookies. I know JJ Spawn's a rookie. I could just be shoving my foot in my mouth right now. But there's a few guys that I think it's slightly surprising that they're rookies. But the rookies got to step up. And that's one question I wanted to ask you as well as we, somewhat wrap this up. I'm sure we'll go another 15, 20 minutes. But if you had to pick one X Factor player from each squad, and you say, let's go Americans first, Europeans second. Let's pick one X factor that we think is going to kind of swing the outcome of this Ryder Cup, or just, in a perfect world, if this team wins, who has to play well?
I think the United States team, this is not a pick that I would actually enjoy. I want the U.S. to win, but I think Colin Morikawa is an X factor in this. I think Colin Morikawa is going to be, we can see it clearly he's already being treated like he is a really good player, but he's being over-treated right now. And the pairing he got and who he's playing against. And I think
he's getting taste treated right now.
Yeah, I think Colin Morikawa being the guy that won the Open Championship by 10 shots or whatever the fuck it was a couple of years ago, that Colin Morikawa changes the game for the United States team. Because we know Scottie's going to be good. We know Bryson's going to be good. But there are 3 or 4 guys that have the talent level or the ceiling of not many guys in the entire world, but they have to hit that ceiling. And like a guy like Russell Henley doesn't have that. A guy like, he could play solid, but he's not going to wow you. A guy like JJ Spawn showing a higher ceiling now, but he's just kind of hit lightning in a bottle this year and qualified. Ben Griffin, really good player as well, but not the ceiling of Colin Morikawa's ceiling is really, really high. And I think he's a huge X factor. And for like the European team, I think it's Victor Hovland is my X factor because he's all over the place, changing swing coaches, winning losing, talking shit, talking about how nobody can be in his head worse than he is, like funny stuff. But he's the X factor for the European team, because if he is on his game, like he's almost unbeatable too, and he's one of those very high ceiling guys.
Yeah, I mean, I said we were going to go Americans first, so you were going to give me one, and then we would go Europeans, but that's fine. We can go out of order. It's all good. I'm actually going to push back. I agree with Morikawa, because if he plays good, his good is very good. That I sounded like John Madden there, but I agree with you. I am pushing back on the JJ Spawn thing. I think he could be the X factor for America if he comes out. I mean, we've seen him in multiple clutch situations this year, and he's a very quiet, soft-spoken dude. And I think, he's not very physically imposing, I guess you like Bryson. There's not a lot of people that are afraid of JJ Spawn. Let's put it that way. But I think if he plays well, he could be really, really fucking good. And we've seen that bulldog in him this year, and that could be a big step for, obviously his career, but the Americans, because like you said, we're going to need some of these middle tier guys to step up for America. We can't just have the top tier guys play well, because we need that depth. It's not you can't rely on 2 or 3 dudes to win your Ryder Cup. So, and then for the Europeans, a name that really has not gotten mentioned much is Ludwig Aubert. I mean, similar to Victor Hovland, his good is very, very, very good. And if he plays well, it could be fucking lights out for the American team. It's just there's a few guys that, and same with, I kind of put Bobby McIntyre into that same pail, into the same bucket, as some would say. And McIntyre for a different reason, just because he seems so patriotic for his country and so proud and so happy to represent. Like, I could see him being the galvanizer of the group that is fucking just fist pumping and like freaking out on the 18th hole and just going crazy. So there, and one other American, I know we mentioned one X factor, but Xander Schauffele could also flip a lot of this as well, because he has been a top 5 player in the world, and actually like top 5 player, not Russell Henley top 5. Xander Schauffele has been one of the best in the world now for the last handful of years. He's probably had his worst year this last year. And if he somehow finds the form, I watched him the last few tour events that he played, and he was absolutely dog shit. So if he can somehow not be absolute dog shit and play well, that could be huge in America's favor too, because when you look at a guy like Xander, obviously you're not going to leave him off the Ryder Cup, but he's absolutely not coming in with his best stuff, not even close.
Yeah, I mean, Xander's the X factor in terms of you just have no clue what he is right now. You have no clue. Absolutely zero clue.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap it up with our pick. Give me your final pick. Give me the points prediction. Hit me with it. 2025 Ryder Cup winner is blank by a score of blank to blank.
Oh, fuck's sake. You're going to make me do it. I've gotten a lot of shit for saying the Europeans, but I'm picking the Europeans. I'm probably going to put some money on it at the casino later tonight. But I'm going to go 14.5, 13.5. It's going to be tight, but I think the Europeans edge us out. I'm obviously rooting for the U.S. team. I am just a voice of reason here. Everyone's going to shit on me for this take, but I think that the Europeans are just top to bottom better than we are. They're deeper. They have more experience, and they just give a shit. Like, that's at the bottom line. At the end of the day, I think they want this more than we do.
I agree. I think my final score is Europeans 17, United States 15. And I do think that it comes down to...
That's too many points.
32?
It's 28.
Oh, is it 28? Europeans 15, United States 13. I think that it just... I do think that it'll come down...
Pick jacked me. See, I went Europe because I thought you were going to go USA, but if both of us pick Europe, it's almost a USA lock now. Like, we're such mushes in terms of betting that I might just lock in. I'm fading myself. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid to fade yourself. I might have to bet the US team because both of us love the European team.
Yeah, I just think we can both either be really wrong or just both come on here and say we're really right next week. You know, that's how it can be.
That is kind of how this whole thing works. You know, you have a take and you're either fucking right or you're wrong. And we've been wrong plenty of times. We're not afraid to admit it. So here's just to another time being wrong. But go fucking USA. Obviously, we're rooting for the US team. It goes without saying. But I just am curious as to how this weekend is going to unfold. And I do think we could almost tell by how tomorrow goes how the rest of the week is going to go. If
Yeah,
if the US is up by a point or two tomorrow, if they're up by more than 1 point tomorrow, I think the US wins. If it's closer than a point, I think it's the Europeans to lose at that point.
Yeah, I agree. Well, enjoy the Ryder Cup. We are teeing off, or they are teeing off at 7:10 Eastern, 5:10. I'm going to be in front of my couch at 5:10 in the morning watching this thing tee off. I love it because it's unlike other most PGA Tour events, we get to see all the shots pretty much, and then it's also very limited number of groups on the course, so you get to see a lot more golf shots. You get to see a lot of the action unfold. I'm excited for this. Enjoy the Ryder Cup. We will talk to you guys next week with a full recap of how this went down, and hopefully, even though we both picked against them, the Americans taking home the 2025 Ryder Cup at Bethpage Black. We'll talk to you then. Peace.
Peace.